Hello and welcome to another programme of Nature Watch, and today we'll be looking at more closely our famous Barbary macaques, and with me here to explain is Eric Shaw, who's in charge of looking after them and feeding them. I mean, it's a lot of work, Eric. This is every single day.
365 days a year.
Well, this is it, and it starts off with you chopping up the food.
It starts off very early in the morning, chopping up the food. The men have to get in by about 7 o'clock each day, every day. That includes all public holidays because the animals don't have a day off not eating. First and foremost, we go around all the different sites we've got. This is Prince Philip's Arch. Cleaning up the sites, sorting them out, and putting out barley, as you've seen earlier on there, spread on the road there, and they're eating barley.
Yeah.
This is like a pre-breakfast breakfast to bring them all together, but at the same time to stop them arguing.
Yeah.
This gives us time.
That's it.
To be down where we were earlier on, where you've been helping us do a little bit of chopping and everything.
Well, this is it. Yeah.
So, you know, and that's
my bit.
That's right, you've done your bit for them. We chop them all up, and once we've sorted it all out into the bins and everything, we back out on site as we are now. And what we are doing now is we're delivering the food, we're delivering the apples, the pears, the oranges, the root vegetables, and all the other stuff. We're delivering the fresh food, as it were, out to site. And you can see, you know, she's sitting here now, sort of patiently waiting to be fed.
Yeah, so it's not a myth that you give them the fruit and veg that's been left behind at the supermarket. You don't want them. You want them to eat stuff that you and I eat.
One of the rulings we've actually got here, which I'll take you through, is what they eat, we eat. If you don't think it's good enough for you, then why should it actually be good enough for the animals? All the apples, oranges, the lettuces, the pears, the carrots, if they're not fit for human consumption, then they're not fit for these animals, because after all, we're all primates. The only thing that separates us from them is a fur coat, and we're supposed to be more intelligent.
Now, this is the first pack we've come across. How big is it? What numbers are we talking about?
We're talking about the numbers that we've got on the rock itself at the particular moment in time. It's about 201.
Wow.
But then on top of that, you've actually got the babies that have been born this year, and there's been about 37 babies. Until next year, we don't actually add them to the permanent numbers, because sometimes during their first year of infancy, there are mortalities. Sadly, out of the 33 that we've had already, there has been 2 accidents where 2 have actually been run over. One of them was actually at this site, and another one was down at the Farringdon site down there.
Now, in this particular pack, I noticed there are some monkeys have moved up there close to the cable car. Now, have they splintered from this pack?
Not at all, just smart, that's all. We get one of these situations where lots of biologists and lots of other people think there's 2 factions and there's 2 groups. What you've got to bear in mind here is it's a touristical situation. They know it's a touristical situation. Yes. They know how many people are going to come round here. There is a pecking order in the family, no different than any family on the rock. You know, when we used to have large families, father always got the best. Well, father's going to sit around here and get the best down here. And the females and the males up there, which are subordinate to the other higher ranking ones, also know there's tourists at the top there. Well, when the people at the top there are putting water out and the people out there are actually feeding them as well, what they've done is they've got their little captive audience that they're feeding at. This one here, when the taxis start arriving, will have their captive audience to start getting fed from and everything. Yeah. So each has got his own area. The only thing that's disappointing from our point of view is they're breaking away from foraging, as it were. You see them when they're foraging for the barley like that. In and around the area here and just over the side of the wall, they would forage like that all day. But when you get an interaction, when you start getting an interaction, that is an interaction, then you're going to keep going for it, especially when I get rewarded for that interaction. You know, I stroke you, you smile, I keep stroking. It literally is as simple as that. But in this situation, what is happening is they're getting the reward of food. Now, when you're a survival animal where every minute of the daylight is supposed to be made up of actually foraging, you know, the 3 Ps, the alpha male has got to protect, provide and procreate. If he breaks down on any one of those 3 Ps, like, you know, he's out of the door and he's finished. So this is how their day is all the time. They're natural foragers and feeders, and they're just foraging and feeding from us, and we're making it easy for them, but not necessarily good.
Yeah, so the only way we're going to get them back to foraging and providing for themselves is by stopping tourists and people from feeding them, which is not going to be easy.
Well, yeah, what we do have to understand is, if you come from Middle Wallop, or Cordova, or Nimes in France, you know, they don't have monkeys. And to be as close as we are to this female here, coming along here with the baby, this is as close as anybody wants to be, but because the familiarity of the animal leads us into the contempt of, I've not really given you the best of trips unless I put a monkey on your shoulder there. Well, that's the last place you really want a monkey.
Yeah.
They're not circus animals.
Yeah.
Yet this is becoming a circus.
Yes.
The animals aren't the
Unfortunately.
circus, yeah. The animals are not the circus. We're the circus.
Yeah.
We come up here and perform for them. You know, being here and totally ignoring them like we're ignoring them here, and because you're with us ignoring them, they're not even trying to get food from us, and we're the food providers.
Yes.
They know our system, why we've been at it long enough now. They know we're not actually going to hand food out to them. That brings people around to turn around and say, we don't know how to handle them, we can't do anything. We're not supposed to do anything with them. They're wild animals.
Exactly.
This is the last wild, free-ranging primates in the whole of Europe.
Yeah.
We messed this up and
Yeah.
finished these animals up behind bars and in cages. We've messed up big style. Not only have we messed up big style, we've messed up something that we've been in charge of for 300 years next year.
That's it. Yep.
And we ain't doing a very good job, are we?
Yeah.
Because
No.
they've been here longer than 300 years.
Yeah.
They've survived for over 300 years, basically by people ignoring them.
Yeah.
Now it's become a touristical attraction, and what we want to do now is get people to come up, use it as a touristical attraction, but ignore the animals
Yes.
to the point of not wanting to touch and hold on to them.
Yep. Well, hopefully this program will give a little bit of insight into that, and maybe we've got to keep on plugging this message. Don't feed them, let them get on with it. Right, Eric, we're here at the 5th site where you've just delivered food. Now, would you say this is one of the smaller packs that live here?
It is one of the smaller packs that we've actually got here, or smaller troops as we like to call them. Yes, but you know, their sizes average from 24 right up to about 70. It depends what terrain they've actually got and how they break down. This, at one time of day, used to be 2 groups. We call it Farringdons now, and Farringdons is over there to my right there, just below the galleries, used to be 1 troop, and down here at Princess Caroline's, there used to be another troop called Caroline's Troop. Now they've kind of merged, because down through the years with the Caroline troop and with the work that was happening down in Glasses and down the other side of the cliff there with the
Yep.
scaffolding, we had problems with apes.
Yes.
Sadly, those apes had to be removed. Some of them were euthanized, but most of the ones that we actually took from here, if you recall, we got 25 of them, and they got shipped out to Germany,
Yes.
and they're doing absolutely fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And these are the same ones which will go down to Moorish Castle?
There'll be members out of this group that will go to Moorish Castle, yeah. The fascinating part about these actually go down to Moorish Castle and do everything, and we had the ones that went to Germany. Good point to actually make here. The 25 that went to Germany used to go up and down scaffoldings in and out of people's houses, causing mischief all over the place. We shipped them out to Germany, where they've got a very strict regime where there's no contact with people. People are not allowed to feed them, and the Germans are very good at actually obeying
Yes.
rules and regulations. Those animals, within a couple of months, started to ignore human beings. Much
Really?
like these guys are ignoring us now. And what they have now in their park is a path where people can actually walk through and see what we're watching now. Little babies swinging there on the branches, mothers actually foraging, picking up the barley off the floor there. And we're seeing animals in a close to a near natural habitat of their home range that we're ever going to see. That's how we should be seeing them here. A little bit of aggression that you see that's going on here now. You ignore it,
Yeah.
and it ignores you.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously we should be following that model, ideally in Germany.
We should be following that model. What it would be, what's better for people that actually come in and see it? If they come in and actually see these animals going about their daily work, as it were, they're observing animals the way they should be observed. To actually observe them on your shoulder or my shoulder, or taking pasta or chocolates or sweets, or look what I can do with this animal. This is a trained animal, this is a circus, and you're the performer.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, well, let's talk a bit about biology now. The misconception, they're called apes. Now, that is wrong, because I believe they're tailless monkeys.
They are tailless monkeys, yes. In fact, if you can get a close-up of one of the little newborns that you see, like the one on the back there, you will see right at the back a little tiny small tail, but they are tailless monkeys, that is correct.
Yeah. So the monkeys behave differently to apes. I mean, in what way? What sort of the main way that they live and are different to
Different
apes?
species of monkeys and apes. Apes, totally different. Obviously, you're talking about great apes and that, but you know their feeding habits are very, very similar, but their lifestyles are totally different. And it's the same with any type of monkey. You go from chimpanzees, you go to bush monkeys, you go to all the different types of ones that you can actually do. They've got a different lifestyle. The lifestyle of these actually originated in Algiers and in Morocco. They're living in cedar forest, very, very, very high cedar forest. These guys have never seen a cedar forest, but what they are is they're tree-dwelling monkeys that feed on the ground and forage all the time. Their lifestyle is just foraging. And as you can see, what we're imitating by putting out barley there is we're imitating their natural need to go out foraging. We're trying to bring them back to what they should be doing all the time instead of actually have them sitting there waiting for us to stick something in their hand.
Absolutely. And is it one dominant male with a harem of females, or how does that work? Because the behaviour is obviously very interesting to observe.
It is. You've always got a dominant male, as it were, the leader of the pack, and it's his job to protect, provide and provision, and that's what would happen in the wild, and that's what happens here. And to all intents and purposes, all the girls are his. He gets the first choice, let's put it that way.
Yes.
There's usually a natural balance of the same amount of females as there are males. There are always arguments between the males of who's going to be dominant and who's not going to be dominant. And basically all it boils down to is, today I'm the dominant male and I'm trying to control all the girls myself, and tomorrow it could be another one. It depends what backing they get. You get the alpha females backing up a particular male so he stays dominant. But then on another day, she may fall out with him, or the other guy may get somebody to hold his coat type of thing. When you watch the behaviour with the animals when they're fighting, the males very quickly look over the shoulder. And the looking over the shoulder is no different than a human reaction in a bar fight. You're looking over the shoulders to make sure your friends are still with you, or have they run off? And that's what you're looking for. And if they've run off, well, you're going to run off. But if they stay with you, you can maybe come up the pecking order a little bit.
I mean, is the dominant male the father of all the babies in one season?
Oh, lovely question. Lovely question.
Or does one male sneak in there?
Believe it or not, the females, it is a matriarchal society. The matriarchs, the females control everything and they all stay together. The wanderings of these animals when they cross across to another pack, invariably it is the males that go across and not the females. They stay in nice little family groups. And is the dominant male the father of all the other ones? I suppose you would like to think so. However, it is the female that decides. Oh, the only thing that will show us this is genetic research, as if we've got genetic material from every single baby and the genetic material from the male itself. That's a very expensive process. We'll get there eventually and we'll know. From pure observations, the girls are sneaky. What the girls will, they're very sneaky. No, you may laugh.
Aren't they all?
Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because basically, what happens is you'll get the alpha male sitting off to one side, and you'll get little Doris over there fancying Miguel over on the other side, and somehow or other she's got to get away from him for about 30 seconds or so, like very fast, very fast. Got to get over there for about 30 seconds ago. So what she does is she picks on Pablo. And she turns around and she barks at Pablo and looks at the alpha male and goes, you see what he's just trying to do? Alpha male gets excited, chases Pablo off down the road. She slips off to one side with Miguel there. 30 seconds later, she's twiddling her thumbs and saying, "Only naughty."
Oh, that's brilliant.
Just like our society.
So the females go on heat when? When does the breeding?
In the rainy season, when it starts coming up towards September, October, they start getting this swelling on their rear ends, which is, to a Barbary macaque, is very, very attractive, apparently. It looks grotesque to most people, but as far as a male Barbary macaque is concerned, this is absolutely fantastic, and she looks great. And they go on heat, and then it's around April time when they start to have their young. And as you can see, some of the young ones are around now that have started in about April, carries on all the way through till June. We had one born, in fact, only about 5 days ago, up there at the top where we've just come from, Prince Philip's Arch. There was another one born there. And
So the pregnancy lasts, what, 6 months?
oh yeah, 6, 7 months, and that's it. It's all over with by the shouting. Aren't they fortunate?
Yes,
That's it.
yes,
Aren't they
are.
fortunate?
And obviously it happens just once a year.
It just happens once a
Yes.
year. And before you ask the question, twins, yes, there have been twins in Barbary macaques. Very, very rare, though.
Right.
Very, very rare.
Right, okay. Well, now we're going down to the farm and you're going to show us the research.
I'm going to show you the
that's been
database,
done.
because basically what you've been watching this morning is you've been watching a particular
Snippet.
part. Very early this morning, while it was still dark, we've already been round all the sites before the animals are actually here. We've cleaned up the sites, disinfected the sites, put fresh water out on the site, and we've spread barley on the floor so that when the sun starts to get up and they're getting out of bed and they're coming here to their start point of the day, there's food on the ground, this barley that you see them foraging for, while we go back to our location where you came with us, where we prepare all the fruit and vegetables again. If we didn't start the day like that, we didn't do it like that, and we got here at this time of day, they would already have gone off foraging somewhere. What we're trying to do is keep them here foraging for a while. Occupational therapy, this is what it is, feeding and moving and doing something all the time. Then putting their other vegetables down there with greater nutrition in them. So we now know that these animals and all these sites, no matter where they go now, they've had enough food today, they're not going to starve to death. They're not going to go without water. However, a lot of people are going to think they are starving because they're a little bit like children throughout the whole range of these monkeys, because if you offer them something, they take it. And the instant they take it, people say, oh, look at them, they're starving, they're starving. Does that mean every child who doesn't eat his vegetables and everything and goes out and decides to have another ice cream and another...
Exactly.
This is what it's like here. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's time to start changing those attitudes, and
we have.
we have to.
We have.
And as you said, the idea of a warden at each site would be the best.
It would be
way.
idealistic to have a warden at each site to try to explain to people what's happening. What really needs to be understood is we, the Gibraltarians, like it or no, we're actually sharing Gibraltar with the Barbary macaque. The macaque, unfortunately, was here long before we were here. We've been here for 300 years now. They've been here longer than 300 years. We're sharing this land with the original Gibraltarians, as it were. We've got to acknowledge that we're living with a free-ranging primate population all over the rock. They're as free as we are. If you take the word wild out, well, if you leave wild in, it's why don't we understand the wild. But if you take the word wild out and let yourself understand that they're as free as we are. You want to go to casements now? You go to casements. They want to go to casements? Why shouldn't they? But when they do, we get upset, because when they get there, we've got unthinking people that start throwing them chips and this and that. And if they see these, little bit of a territorial dispute over there in the background, a little one.
Right.
But all you do is just sit back like we're doing now. The dispute is with themselves, not with us. And this, observed and watched by the public, is far more interesting than actually having them sit on your shoulder.
Absolutely, I agree, totally. Well, Eric, we're here at Lower Bruce's farm, which is the hub of research for the monkeys and other animals. We've just been to feed them. Now, you've got a wonderful database on the monkeys. Perhaps you can talk us through it.
Yeah, well, one of the things that's happened, it's either Dale or Damien actually update the database all the time. It's Dale's turn today. We've gone round and we've done the feeding. The part that you didn't actually see was actually how we weighed all out when it actually comes from the fruit house, but you'll see that other side later. Once it's all been done, and we've got to the stage that we've done now where all the food is now out, and we've finished the second run going round, Dale or Damien come down here, they flash up the database for the food, and what Dale now does is he enters in the food that we've put in for today. As you can see, this is 03 that we've got. We go back 4 years on this, and what we're accounting for is everything that we're actually putting out there. It's very important to know what you're feeding them and how much you're feeding them. it could be of value to other researchers in the future. It could be of great value to ourselves because we may or may not be putting in the right type of proteins, right type of vitamins. It's good for the vet to actually review it and everything. Yeah. And it gives a good check on what we're actually doing. And if the authorities want to know what's gone out there, it's all based on here. If you look at the top line, it tells you exactly what type of food is going out. And as the line goes along there, it keeps going along all the different types of things because we're not feeding the same food to them all the time. It's always altering, it's always changing. What we're watching on the sites all the time, or what the boys are watching on the site all the time, is what's been eaten and what's not been eaten, what's going dry in the weather, what are their favourites, what are they deciding to leave to one side. When that happens, we then go down to the fruit house and we do a change round and we try something different. One of the things that they do like, that the greater public don't like, is onions. They do like, they like raw onions.
So it's a bit of a myth that the favourite fruit is bananas.
Very, very much so. And when we actually put onions out there, and they're eating the onions, it becomes a little bit of a problem for the lads here because they're turning around to the lads and saying, what rubbish food that you're giving them. So we have to play it a little bit with the onions, and we throw them in and we take them away, and we throw them in and we take them away. And you have to keep on doing this so that people can see that there's a change all the time. The saddest part about it, which we'll witness later on when we finish off the runs going round there, is you've seen the food that's actually gone out. What's happening now, and it's only just gone after 11 as it were, when we've got back out there again, you'll find out that most of the food is gone, and that's when most of the tourists are actually coming up here, and they're going to be coming for the rest of the afternoon. And the only thing that we're going to be taking out from here on in is barley and peanuts. We come into the peanut stage this afternoon, and we'll start putting out peanuts. And that's all they will see going out, and then they'll think that all we feed them is nuts, but they've not seen the original part.
Yes, absolutely. Now, what else do you have in this database? You have information about each and every individual
Each individual animal. What we've got is we've got a journal. Just flash up the journal, right? What we do is we have a build-up on a journal, which is very, very similar to this particular journal here. And what we do is we go out there and we take photographs of each individual animal that we've got, and then what we do is we make out a board that you see here that he's running up now, and what he's looking for now is one of the photographed males or females.
So obviously this starts from birth. You already start opening up a file on each individual animal.
Coming up instantly from word go. And what we do is it'll have to generate a picture, but it will generate a picture and it will come up. And what you'll finish up with is you'll finish up with an enlarged edition of this particular type of journal that we've got here, which is to help people. And what we've got here is we've got the microchip number, we've got the birth date, we've got the entry number that it's got there, we've got the microchip number, we've got a face patterning on it in case it's got scars or everything on it, we've got a photograph of the animal itself, and when you come further down here there's other parts to put in information on Dot herself. And if we want to look more at what we've got on Dot, it's very difficult to actually fill in all of these photographs. It's very time consuming, and it's ongoing throughout the whole year. If you swing round, this is the population list as it is at the present moment. Let's just walk down here. This is how it stands at the moment. What happens every January, what we do, we gather all the boys together and we go out to all the different sites and we do a consensus. And the consensus is done in January. This is to know the exact numbers that we've got. The breakdown of male, female is done much later. FB stands for Farringdon Barracks, where we've got 22 animals there. Anglian Way, we had 36 animals there. Prince Philip's Arch, 46 animals there. Middle Hill, we got 65 animals there. And at the Apes Den, we got 34, total of 201 animals. However, though we seem to have a lot of animals, 201, the ones that are actually on display at the touristical sites only number 136, because the Middle Hill ones, the ones that are giving trouble down at Catalan Bay at the moment, 65 are in Middle Hill in an MOD enclosure, a very large MOD enclosure up there. So we're left with 136 animals. So for the thousands of tourists that we've actually got coming here, 136 of them can be stroked thousands of times a day, which makes these animals far more tolerant than we are, and they put up with our antiques day in and day out. And what the greater public at large don't understand is they understand us better than we understand them. Absolutely.
Well, Eric, we're back at the Apes Den, and we can see that half of the food at least is already gone. And there's one eating at the moment.
Yes. Well, this is one of the places where, you know, we've got lots of tourists coming in behind us and feeding us. The thing I'd like to point out to you, we're here now 6 hours later. You didn't think it was going to take this long.
No.
But here we are 6 hours later,
Yeah.
and we are not yet finished. All we've done is stopped off here to actually show you that the food does get eaten, but it does deteriorate in the sun, whether we like it or whether we don't. Animals know it. They come along and they eat all the melons, all the oranges and the apples and the soft stuff, and then slowly work themselves through the root vegetables,
Yes.
such as the carrots now.
Yeah.
By tomorrow morning or later this evening, all of that will be gone.
Yeah.
In about an hour's time, we'll be coming back round again, putting more barley on the floor there, more peanuts on the floor. So it can't be that they're without food. Sadly, we've got the tourists that are around us now. Look, all we've got to do is watch the little boy there, and all they want to do is feed. Why people want to do this is beyond me. You don't walk down the main street in any town, see a woman with a little baby and try to feed it or stroke it.
Exactly.
But because it's woolly, they go down there and they don't seem to understand that that's not what they're here for.
Yeah. Well, we don't go on a safari park and try and feed the lions or the zebras.
There's
or
some people that have and not survived.
But I mean, the beauty about seeing animals in the wild is actually seeing them surviving
Yeah,
themselves.
but the great problem here is as well, you see the primates like ourselves, and they've got big teeth and they can get upset, and if they feel threatened, they will bite. And then because we're human beings, anything that bites us has attacked us. We never, ever believe that we are the cause of the interaction.
Yeah.
You know, I stroke you and you slap my face, and the first thing
Yeah.
I'm going to say is, I only touched her on the shoulder,
Yeah.
but you didn't want to be touched
Yeah.
on the shoulder.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's the same with these animals. We've got to keep this distance.
Yeah.
We've got to keep this. We have a problem. Well, the problem is, first we must educate ourselves,
Yeah.
and only then can we educate the people behind us.
Yeah.
It's very, very simple. It's in one simple phrase, as they always say, KISS, keep it simple.
Yeah.
We take away all of the litter bins, and
Yeah.
all the tour operators turn around and tell every single person that comes up here, what you bring in, you take out.
Absolutely.
The
Provide
fines
them
are
with
heavy.
a plastic bag
That's
as
right.
well.
The fines are heavy. You do not feed the animals. You do not touch the animals. You've come here to look at the
And
animals.
to learn.
Just like we do in the sea.
Yeah.
You go into the sea and come back with pictures and good memories. That's what we want them to do here.
Yeah, because it's a shame to just look over the edge anywhere on the upper rock and it's just litter, cans, packets of crisps. It's a little clear now, but even still, yes.
Oh, yeah. You can
it's-
still see it anywhere you're going to go. And the problem is, you see, we're always going to blame ourselves for not doing a good job. Well, we would not be doing a good job if we ourselves were bringing this litter up and then we're casting it over the side.
Yeah.
We're not. The people who we're making the money out of are actually doing this.
Yeah.
Well, what we've got to do is learn to control them. We've got to take an example of all the other wildlife parks around Europe. You go to Grasselema, which is very, very close here. No litter bins, no nothing. Very, very heavy fines, very draconian. No one does it.
Yeah.
What we've got to do is we've got to do it the same, but we must start with ourselves. We must clean our own backyard,
Yeah.
and then we've got to keep it clean when we invite people into it. And all we've got to do then is observe these animals doing
Yeah.
what they want to do, you know.
Yeah.
They're wonderful to watch, just playing and passing around the babies and eating and frolicking around without actually going over there and trying to get good photographs
Yeah.
with them on my motorbike and teasing them.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, they're only juvenile animals. It's
Yes.
when you get too close and you overthreaten. You see the one that's jumped onto the boy? Look,
Yeah.
they're fighting between themselves. By accident, they could have bitten the boy, they
Yeah.
could have scratched him, they could have done anything. This is because we're interacting with
Yeah.
them. We must stop interacting with the animals.
Absolutely. Now, can I just change the subject slightly? Go back to numbers. And when we were down at the research centre, you talked about the unfortunate method of a bit of euthanasia occasionally, and there was a practice that the MOD did years gone by when they looked after the apes. Now, what about the use of contraceptive implants for the females?
We have got a contraceptive program going, and it's being run by the veterinary clinic, and Mark Pissarro was leading on that. Once again, it's one of those difficult things of coming round, catching the females and actually implanting them, which stops them breeding for 2 years at a time.
Yeah.
It's an expensive operation.
Right.
It is a difficult operation, and there's always financial constraints to these kind of things, and this is always leading us to the problems of manpower, money, and the availability of being able to do it.
Yes.
We're always constrained by these things.
Yeah.
But that is possibly the only way ahead.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are going to get into one of these situations where When there was 2 packs, Queensgate here at the Apes Den and Middle Hill, the military, when they had a problem, one, they got rid of it and they kept it very, very quiet.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're in charge of them now, or they're under our care, albeit that they are wild. We have got to try to look after them possibly a little bit better. We can't follow the same suit and just say this is how many we want. So, okay, let's get rid of 10 and get rid of that. We've got to do it a little bit more scientific. We've got to take into consideration the DNA of them, the inbreeding and everything else that goes with it.
Absolutely.
It's not an easy exercise. You can't just say, well, there's 70 there, there's 20 too many, let's get rid of 20. That's okay if we're moving them to another park.
Yes.
Because we can always replace them because they're at the other park. We can get the newborn brought back again, or the juveniles brought back again to add to the DNA when they're at a breeding age.
Yeah.
But once you've got rid of an animal, it is gone forever. But sadly, it does happen. But the other sad part as well, we lose large numbers by people running over them too.
Yes, I heard that 3 babies have been run over in the last couple of months.
Sad, well, in the last couple of weeks, actually, but that in itself is neither here nor there. We've had 7 since last year, actually, 7 animals actually run over and killed in what are actually traffic accidents.
Yes.
Literally as simple as that.
So I suppose the main message here is we have them, we've got to learn to live with them, and we've got to be tolerant and learn to love them, really, from afar.
That's right. We've got to be as tolerant as they are, but we've got to do it from a distance. Like you're giving me your space and my space, but this gap between us without actually touching. Well, let's do the same thing with the animals.
Yeah.
And as you say, we have to learn to live with them. Because let's bear in mind, they were here first.
Yeah. Well, Eric, thank you very much. It's been fascinating. It really has. And I hope we've opened people's eyes a little bit more, and we'll continue with this topic for next year.
No, I thank you for coming around and looking at some of the things that we do, because we've not covered everything.
I'm impressed. I really am. I didn't realise you worked so hard to look after them.
A lot of people see us driving around, or they see the guys driving around and they think that's all we do.
Yeah, no.
Sadly, we don't. And there's 2 more hours to do.
Yes, they better get on.
Okay, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Ciao.